Fall under the sea, under the sea. Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Up on the shore, they work all day. Out in the sun, they slave away. While we're devoting full time to floating under the sea. Down here, all the fish is happy. As off through the waves they roll. The fish on the land ain't happy.
My name is Hodan Abdiaziz. I have 4 children and I have lived in Calabaet for 20 years. The biggest problem we have here is water. Every day I walk to the Barkat, which is about an hour. When I have money, I buy a jerrycan. But sometimes, if I buy water, I do not have enough money for food.
The communities are having to buy water from vendors who are bringing it from far out in the city, and they're incurring costs to bring the water here. So that means they are selling the water to the communities at high prices.
Something that's hard for us to understand, but here people are really suffering. They need more water to maintain their health, to avoid getting waterborne diseases, to keep themselves clean, to make sure their clothes are clean, to have adequate water for themselves and even for their animals.
I have 5 goats and they need water to survive. I spare 1 jerrycan for cooking only. And mostly, I do not have water for cleaning my children and our clothes. Because my children do not bath and their clothes don't get washed, they suffer from many diseases and diarrhea. No one can survive without water. If I had water, I would be happy.
We can help meet their water needs both in the short term, where they can maybe collect water during the rainy season, but also we can look at long-term solutions where they can have water on a all year-round basis.
But fish in the bowl is lucky. They in for a worse of fate. One day when the boss get hungry,
yes, you got me on the plate.
Under the sea.
Now look in my face. Your oppression reeks of your greed a disgrace. So one man has and another has not. How can you love what it is you have got when you took it all from the weak hands of the poor? Liars and thieves, you know not what is in store. There will come a time I will look in your eye. You will pray to the God that you always denied. And I'll go out back and I'll get my gun. I'll say you haven't met me, I am the only son. Seal
What's called sulfide mining in particular is when you take off the overburden, that's the dirt essentially on top of the rocks, you expose rocks that contain what are called sulfides.
The exposure of those sulfide ores to air and water can pose a very serious threat to water in particular, and by extension the entire ecosystem through which the water flows. Because exposure to air and water causes the sulfides in the rock to react with the air and the water and create sulfuric acid, which is extremely detrimental to a whole host of organisms in the ecosystem, particularly those at the bottom of the food chain, so that it then begins to affect frogs, fish, animals that eat frogs and fish, changes the chemistry of the water and the chemistry of the watershed.
And in turn, the acid itself can leach out toxic heavy metals from the rock that it's running over. And so now you've got a human health hazard as well, water that's not fit for human consumption because it's toxic to humans.
All the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities are Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be found out my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. When you look under the rocks and plants and take a glance at the fancy ants, then maybe try a few.
You eat ants?
You better believe it. And you're gonna love the way...
Consider this. More than 40% of the Earth's land has been cleared for agriculture. That's nearly the size of South America and Africa combined. Irrigation consumes more water than anything else on the planet. Today, many rivers have reduced flows. Some dry up altogether. Look at the Colorado River, which no longer flows into the sea. In the past 50 years, fertilizer use has increased 500% globally. The consequence? Widespread water pollution. This agricultural footprint is one that feeds a world population of nearly 7 billion. Now consider this. By 2050, we'll reach 9 billion people, and we'll need to double or even triple our food production. It's time to face a potential global crisis in agriculture. Catastrophic consequences await us if we fail. Hundreds of millions will starve. We'll lose much of our tropical forests. Massive water shortages fueled by changing weather patterns, declining water quality. Wildlife populations will crash. Species will disappear. So, where do we go from here? We must increase production on existing ag lands. There are huge opportunities to increase yields, especially in third world countries. We must increase the efficiency of agriculture by investing in real solutions like incentives for farmers, precision agriculture, new crop varieties, more efficient irrigation, gray water recycling, better tillage practices, smarter use of fertilizers, improved crop genetics, smarter diets.
On my way, on my way, on my way, on my way. I would like to reach out my hand, oh, me say, oh, me tell you to run.